Hello, it's Kathy, Chilled Mama here, for day 2 of Chilled Birth Week. All this week I am sharing evidence-based things that help you to have a positive and chilled birth in our current maternity care, whatever happens. And yesterday was about relaxation and how practicing relaxation can help you then to relax in labour and how that helps your birth be more positive and chilled. And today I'm talking about who you have with you on Labour Day, your team, who you're going to have in your team and how do you choose and why it makes a difference. I'm just going to check my notes here. So, I'm going to talk about other halves, other birth partners, continuity of carer, midwives, doctors. So, big headline. There is the biggest impact on how your birth turns out. And woman with you has the biggest impact on how your birth turns out. You reduces the chance of unnecessary interventions. It has a bigger impact than where you give birth. So if you want to avoid unnecessary interventions, if you want to reduce your chance of ending up with a caesarean, and then not, no caesareans that are really useful, but if you want to reduce your chance of ending up with a caesarean, then having another woman with you in labour has the biggest impact. And actually it's in national guidelines for midwives and doctors. It's called the NICE, National Institute of Health and Clinical Excellence guideline on caesarean births. In the section about reducing the chance of needing a caesarean, it says all women should be informed that continuous support during labour from women with or without prior training reduces the likelihood of a caesarean section. And I think that's really powerful. I have yet to meet somebody who's been told that by their midwife or doctor, which I think is a shame. But this is how it does. Actually, it's really good, solid evidence behind that. So who could you have as that? It could be your mum, your sister, your friend or cousin. The important thing is that when they're with you, you relax and you feel safe. And that they can attune to you and be alert to what you need, so their focus is on you and not on themselves. The research does say that it helps if the woman has had a previous positive experience of birth herself, and that sort of makes sense, because if she's dealing with her own trauma, if that's making her own experiences are making her tense or anxious, then that's going to come through to you. For some people, the other person they might relax with is actually their dad or their brother. In some parts of the world, it is the woman's dad that supports her in labour. So don't feel, you choose who is right for you, because it's not so much the person as how you feel and what happens that you feel safe. You could, of course, choose a doula. If you haven't heard of doulas, doulas are paid birth companions. So they do what a mum or sister would do. They know a bit of stuff as well. And the research shows that the impact of having another woman to support you in labour is biggest if that woman isn't part of the institution, and also that she's not a family member. I'm a trained doula. I've worked as a doula for 10 years and supported lots of people, and I had women with me when I gave birth, That's a whole nother story. Having a doula means that she gets to know you in labour, and you prepare together. She knows what you want and how you want to be supported. She becomes I always used to say, I'm going to become a temporary member of your close family circle. Pediatrician, researcher, and one of the founders of the North America, Doulas of North America, Donna, what's his name? Oh, I haven't written his name down. He said that if doulas were a drug, it would be unethical not to use them because of the massive impact that doulas have. Before I move on, I just want to say how to choose the right doula for you. I've got more information about doulas in my email, so do sign up for those. How to choose the right doula for you. It doesn't matter what her experience is, whether she is known and a popular doula. If your friends have liked her, but you don't gel, don't choose her. Choose the ones that you feel that you're going to be relaxed with. And we do make a big difference. And when I did my training to be a doula, and we did after you do the training, we then have mentors. And my mentor said to me, she said, be prepared for babies to come very fast after you arrive, because it's like, and it's happened to me, well, more than twice actually, where it's happened really fast after I got there, and once it happened before the midwives or ambulance got there, once the ambulance got there but not the midwives, and other times it's like happened quite quickly, because what happens is you turn up and the woman goes, oh, you're here, and she relaxes. And do you remember all the stuff from yesterday about how much, how relaxed you can be, how fast labour can go? So and that's what happens. So it's really worth considering getting a doula, or considering getting another woman who you feel really safe with, who you're going to be able to go, you're here, boom. Who else in your team? So another way to get to have a woman with you all the time is to have continuity of care from a midwife. Now, but what do we mean? And continuity of carer. So you're seeing the same midwife throughout your pregnancy, and then she attends you, or one of her colleagues that you've met before attends you, and then she cares for you afterwards. And that was being set up across the country. It's one of the outcomes that was one of the recommendations from the Better Births report, maternity investigation. And it was happening then, and COVID came, and there were issues with how it is being implemented as well. But it was a real shame, because there is so much evidence that continuity of carer makes a difference. So how can you get that? So one, you can ask, do you have any continuity of carer teams? And sometimes, so my local hospital doesn't have it for everybody, but it has certain groups have continuity of carer teams. So mental health, so women with low mental health can see the same midwife, which is really good. Sometimes I know hospitals that have done it for people planning VBACs, or for different groups within the community. The other way you can get it is to hire an independent midwife. So this is private care, but this is not private like maternity hospital. These are individuals, and they're usually extremely skilled. And I'll tell you, I'm not saving up money for my children's weddings. I'm saving up money for my children to have independent midwives, because they make such a big difference. So that's something to really consider. I've known people who have hired independent midwives, they've sold cars, they've had payment plans, they've had skill swaps. So do consider contacting an independent midwife. And sometimes contacting an independent midwife to have a one-off session can during pregnancy can help you, and then maybe have a doula or somebody with you at that appointment who is going to be your birth partner as well. So for some people, the continuity of carer is their doctor, is their obstetrician. Sadly, sometimes you don't see the same obstetrician every time. In fact, you may not see the named obstetrician when you go for your obstetric appointments. But having that, getting to know your obstetrician can be helpful. And some people then feel relaxed when they are there. So it's very important that you choose the team that is right for you. I'm going to talk more about the wider team and antenatal care, and making decisions and navigating your care on Friday, where I'll be sharing some powerful phrases and more about your rights and how you choose, and changing your mindset about having a team, and putting yourself in the role of the CEO rather than the schoolgirl. So, partner, your other halves, let's talk about having them. Now, I think one of the great things about having a doula is actually they support your other halves as well, because it's a lot to go through for your other halves. They're seeing you in pain, in discomfort. They're worried about your well-being. They're worried about the well-being of the baby. So, and one of the things I used to do as a doula is just smile at the life partner and say, this is all good. This is going as it should. Everything's good. And you could just see them relax, and then they're able to support you. I do think that in the birth room, the most important person is your life partner, the person, your other half, because you could relax around them, that they are, they can be like your rock, but also they can notice. Like when you're starting to frown, or if you're starting to, they know what your signs are that you're stressed, and then they can help you to relax. Look out for the email with some more information and some tips for birth partners, a PDF of tips for birth partners, but I'm going to do more on Thursday, and in the free webinar I'm doing on Thursday evening, I will share some tips for coping with labour and sort of non-pharmacological pain relief and what partners can do. So it will be lovely to see you on Thursday evening for the free webinar.